How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Shawn?
Good to see you again. I mean, yeah, we're here, so we're always in a good mood when we're here. Yeah, I'm just getting everything locked and loaded. What a good day it was again today. I mean, this NASDAQ seems to be pretty darn resilient here. And we'll go over the sector recap and all that. We will have a Q&A shout out today to, I'm not going to say shout out anymore. I don't know why. I feel like that's the most popular thing on the show that we say. Like
I do it a lot. I feel like I owe.
Yeah, because we see people in the chat. So anyways, big look out to the NASDAQ today as it's up here 1% and still like look at this on the daily, trying to take out these levels, of course. And let's see where NVIDIA, look at this, look at that on NVIDIA on that daily chart. What a sweet mover that is.
Oh, yeah.
If we can call up here on the daily chart, let me just call this a 1 minute just to see where we did close on NVIDIA. Yeah, look at that. We had this bid right here. We were long in the after hours, right down there at 1060. It continues to work. Nice move back there to the upside. Get your questions in for Adara. You don't worry about me. Get your questions in there for Adara or for us. Anything you want to ask us about literally anything, and we will be here helping you get those answers very soon. I'm just loading up the chat right now because I kind of ran over here. I wanted to see what my position was there in the TQs at the end of the day, and we were able to get a little bump up there at the end. So a big shout out to everybody. A big thank you to Mike Edwards for joining us on the main show. And then what a week of earnings it was. I mean, we talked about maybe not so many huge names out, but the big one was NVIDIA, and it really cascaded to be a very exciting Wednesday live when that came out. Thursday. Yeah, Thursday was earnings, right? Like that's what we're talking about. Thursday was earnings and then back into today. What a difference a day makes for NVIDIA today as it does take out day's high up to 1065 and continuously moving up. There was one red sector today. Shout out, I said it again, to UNG, which ends near the end of the day there, near those bottoms. But what a run Nat Gas had right there. Up to $21, $22, huge mover up to that upside. I mean, Adara, we were talking about this down here at 14 and 15, and you may remember we had Michael Noss, they were calling this name the Widowmaker, and whether or not it was worth it. But if you look at a weekly chart here, I'm just gonna say to people, you're now getting that sort of pullback down off the 50 period right here on the weekly. And I just wanna, we had brought this to your attention many times. If we zoom this in a little bit, look at the 50 period here on the weekly. Held, did not, broke, but at the end of the day was a good target for you. There's the 50 period again on a rally back, and there's the 50 period one more time. So UNG pulling back off that, zoom that into a daily chart. You know, it's going to provide an opportunity again, but I would definitely let this thing settle back down into the 50, let it come back. You do see a nice little upslope there, which is nice to see in UNG. So any stories that caught your eye here? What do you want to talk about early? Anything?
For this market this week? Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many things happening this week. I think one that I want to really talk about that, you know, spoilers for the week ahead, this might get mentioned, but Dell got a beautiful like little push up on the NVIDIA earnings yesterday, and it had its own catalyst with Ericsson partnership yesterday. Today, it did end up petering out a little bit with these lower highs, lower lows, still up about 4.69% on the day here. And I mean, look at this daily chart. This is gorgeous. So I think for me, one story from this week that I think could carry on to next week is what Dell does. I think that's one I want to watch out for next week for earnings. In terms of other stories this week,
Dell's been so hot.
Dell's been so hot. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a crazy look. And I think that's one that it'll really have to see, much like NVIDIA, where we wanted to see where we could go from here. I think Dell could be a similar story, albeit on a smaller scale, because it's not that $1,000 name, but it has a great run. With that in mind, Abercrombie & Fitch, another one with a crazy run up, also reporting next week. But in terms of things I like this week, I mean, I think there are just a lot of really, PDD was probably, that was the earnings play I know I did the most. But yeah, here's Abercrombie & Fitch. Great look here heading into earnings. PDD, though, that was so fun. PDD kept giving you a couple different levels. So there was that 162, 158, 154 that you kind of had those, you were able to hit those. I was talking to some of the guys in the back as well. They were saying they were also looking at those levels. And that was one earnings play in the Chinese ADR space that I think was fun, that gave you a lot of room to play with. Yeah. Exciting
good.
Week.
Great. Yeah, great little review there. We did see Alibaba and all that sort of pull back a little bit and then get a little bit of a bump today. So some of those Chinese names definitely on watch. Let's just go over some of the names that moved around today. Then we'll go over a trade review at the end of the day there on NVIDIA. So that's a good call there. Thanks for putting that on the chat there, on the sheet, on the rundown. All right, this market was incredibly strong on Friday, making up for some of Thursday's weakness heading into the weekend. So that's always great when that happens, Adara, when you get a lot of these big names heading into the weekend, starting by a nice, stronger than expected final Michigan consumer sentiment print, 69 versus 67. So that was really good. And they fell down earlier this month on negative note there. NVIDIA, one of the biggest names today, up 2.57% as they get some upgrades. There's some chip news there from China. Continuing strength there. The health sector was again a negative, little negative today. Johnson & Johnson, where we're into here, down 1.82%. J&J on, again, unfortunately, I own this name, lawsuit, right? Not great there. They have that talc powder, things like that, so not going good. Cancer obviously continues to be a problem there for J&J. They're going to get that all settled, and when it does, then I do think that there is a clear path there for J&J. We can discuss that chart in a minute as well. Next week, though, we do have a big week for earnings, although a little short. Well, as you mentioned, Dell, everyone's favorite retail, maybe not, Costco coming through, and then one that I like, that the stock hasn't been performing that well, but you wouldn't be able to tell that based on my purchases. Foot Locker right now trying to hold out at $20. This is a really interesting name, Adara, because A, we've seen some weakness in retail, but some retail's been okay.
Yeah.
Walmart upside, Target downside, Under Armour downside, Nike not great, Lulu not great. I kind of put, and we actually saw, I never know to say, you know, people in the U.S. is Adidas, but it's German company, so maybe it's Adidas.
I thought it was Adidas.
Right, North American. Yeah, it's okay, Adara.
Also, sorry, speaking of
what do
retailers,
they say in Winnipeg?
GME's
Adidas, right? They say
yeah, we say Adidas. GME's up here though. They did have this completing an at-the-market equity offering
After
program.
hours?
Thank you guys for pointing this up. Pointing this out. It's up into heading into these 21 areas. So 21 can do something for GME this afternoon. But yeah, nice look. Thank you guys for pointing that one out. Just to look at that. Sorry to cut you off there.
No,
yeah, we
cut
do
me off,
say
please.
Adidas in Winnipeg.
Yeah, no, cut me off immediately every single time. All right, let's just flip this over, go back over to a 1 minute chart just to check out what exactly that move is on GME. So yeah, a great little look there. GameStop completes an at-the-market equity. So at the market's great. Equity offering, selling 45 million shares. So at the market, so that's good. So there's nothing wrong with that. They don't have to price it down here. So there it goes, nice move upside, showing demand for GameStop equity. So that's a good sign there, Adara. Thanks for that note. Nice move upside right there. What does that mean for AMC? Apparently nothing. AMC right now still that $5 marker. The difference about AMC and GME, actually right now with GME being back where it is, it's actually looking a lot like AMC because we do have, get rid of this for a second, we do have some support here, I feel like, on AMC in and around 440, something like that, Adara. So if we can hover around there, you know what this is setting up for? Another run. I feel like, let's wait to see. I feel like there is another squeeze coming here. So I don't have anything to write down right now, which is fine, I don't need to. But on Monday, I want to make sure on Tuesday, I might just come in on Monday.
Just like pretend to trade.
Yeah, I'm going to trade some Canadian banks.
Oh, TD.
TD, I'll short that thing. All right, right here, 20. The thing about, I used to come in on Canadian holidays, actually, on US holidays, trade Canada. But the thing is, Canadian markets volume is pretty dead to begin with, let alone imagine when the US market's not trading.
So it's just less traders.
Much less liquidity and many less traders, less volume. You know what you can actually trade on Monday? You could trade the European markets because they're going to be pretty hot too. So you can watch out for those coming through. So watch out. They have Volkswagen over there, Stellantis, many names that are very similar to how we trade over here. You can go ahead and trade some of those European names. Shout out to my friends over there at Finico Bank. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But there's GameStop. So anyways, that's the daily chart. Looking on the 1 minute, still holding out. Forget about all these moves down. Those didn't happen. Still holding $21 right now. NVIDIA, another look quickly in the aftermarket, up to $1,067. $1,067. Still gonna keep forgetting about that. Like the thing is, we only have to wait till June 10th, and then this thing goes down to 100.
And then I can trade it again. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Wait a second. What are they gonna do to NVDL then? They're gonna have to figure that out. They're not gonna go 10 to 1 on that, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Another name that has split love in it. Oh, this already did split, right? Salesforce. So this name, it's going to look different on our charts now, but this name announced split, and then now it's downside. This name could be bought as well. Or that's Salesforce. What
You
am I
mean
doing?
CMG?
I'm like, CMG didn't split already. There it is, CMG. What did I type in?
You said
CRM.
CRM, but they
We had
report
just
next
talked
week,
about
so that's why you
Salesforce.
thought that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm like, what is Chipotle doing at $270? Okay, so let's talk about this real quick because it's actually good that it hasn't happened yet. So they announced the split right here. They break above 3,000. They get that split love 1 day, 2 days, and it was on earnings. So exact same as NVIDIA. They start to create some highs. And now remember, if the catalyst is a split, that's not something that you should be going long on too far after that announcement because it sort of takes it away from the sales there, like the win from the sales. It's going to split down 10, this one, is it 10 to, no, 30 to 1, I believe, on CMG. So that drop down does not affect, yeah, because it's a $3,000 stock. So they're going to bring this down to $100. And the thing is that it's not going to affect the valuation of the stock.
50 to 1.
50 to 1, so even more than that. Okay, good job there, Dara. Thanks for getting that. So I feel like CMG right now is vulnerable for a move back into this area. So watch out for that. Does it say the date? It's coming up, right? It was a long-winded.
It's after NVIDIA's. It's late June. I'll get you guys the exact
so
story.
anyways, that's going to be another stock there. We did have Walmart as well. Again, that split brought it down from 180 down to 60, and then eventually you get the break. But look, it didn't break until earnings. So just be careful about some of that split news. And I was always wondering about this. Why did NVIDIA bring this now? They could have split it last quarter, the quarter before, or any other quarter. They choose now to do that. So I don't know if there's some sort of conspiracy theory there. Obviously, it's continuing to go upside, but it just does give that extra little push to the long. So remember, Jensen is now like, I think he's worth like $100 billion.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even more than that.
He's
So
a pretty
you have
penny.
to look out at some point for insider selling, although I don't think that guy's going to be selling very many shares at all because it's just one of those things, see it to fruition. Congratulations, anybody. Oh, yeah, and today, good note there, last day of T+2 settlement. I don't know what that means, though. So we go to T+1 now. So your trades, what that means is trades plus 2 days. So the minute that you settle your account, so if you're trading NVIDIA and you flatten your position today, funds will not show up into your account for 2 days.
Oh, okay.
So they have to clear.
Okay,
so that changes. So there was not much market movement when we went T3 to T2. So I don't expect much movement here, T2 to T1. It definitely doesn't affect anything in our business. Probably not much of yours either. But just look out for that. Could add actually more liquidity in the market than not. I'm surprised XBI down. Did we have a down day in Moderna today, possibly? No, up day in Moderna. So XBI, the biotech, we'll have to find out what's creating that.
J&J.
Yeah, but J&J is not a huge bio. I don't know what the holding in it. Maybe that is what it is. But again, down 0.5%. I still like XBI as a possible play there. So, all right. What else? Any other interesting sectors today? Oil finally catching a little bit of a break, trying to bounce off the 200 period moving average. So look at USO coming through there. I choose to trade XLE instead, the energy sector fund. So for me, that's a better energy play for me, but that is really starting to pull down as well. I've been getting some out up here. I don't really want to wait for this, but $88 could be another buy zone there for that. Just looking, Spiders continues its high. Nothing's at the 52-week high anymore or all-time highs, but we're still right there on all of these plays. So I want to thank everybody for joining us again here. GameStop raised. Yeah, we already had that story. So again, because it was at the market, I feel like that's a great little spot. Jeez. Adara.
21 did something for GME.
Yeah, and it's now 22 is doing something for GME right now, up to 22, 22.40. We are really starting to go.
Oh
and again, the news is that they hit an at-the-market equity program that was fully funded and supported. So GameStop right there, got it good. Nice move to the upside there. It's nice to see that they're supporting the equity of this. It's not just like apes heading in there, buying up options, creating the squeeze to the upside. We now have an actual position being taken here in GameStop. Now, I don't know who bought them, but it's a nice move to the upside. And I already said even before this, we were talking about potential squeeze number 2 coming through, and I was basing that just on this. AMC fell back in from a dramatic top, fell right back into $5, and now seems to be holding this 4.50 area, which I like. So when that's going to happen, it just takes one more positive talk, and there goes GameStop. But again, a short float of only 21%. What is GameStop's? Maybe 24. Everything can't be 21, Adara. Like, I know that's like...
I thought it was 21. I legitimately did think it was 21. I'm sorry.
GameStop moving. I mean, that's all that matters. So thank you, everybody, for joining us here. Yeah, 24, 21, same difference. All right, let's go, man. $23 is a key level, people are saying. Yeah, and I agree with that. Look at this on the daily chart. Just come over here quickly, Fabian, and then we'll get off and we'll go and talk about some questions. But that's that level. You're right. Who was that in the chat? Right here. Shout out to people that are in the chat with us right now. Yeah, Lee Wags, Delonte, everyone's there. Oh, Daryl. Hey, shout out my guy Daryl there. Big trader, Daryl, definitely looking at some of these plays. So there it is right here. There's GameStop. That's 23. That was May 20th. We hit $23 there on GME. So let's see what winds up happening right there on that equity little bump there. All right, there are some questions filing in here. So thank you to Bears vs. Bulls. And now we'll do Trader Talk. This is Trader Talk with Adara and Shawn. So, all right, let's go here and figure this out. This show, by the way, will not be any longer than 4:30, Adara.
Okay.
So get ready to fade to black, Fabian, no matter what's happening, because I got to get my, you know what. You know, it's only like 7 kilometers from here I have to go. It's
really?
like, that's like a bike ride.
It is.
You know how long that takes?
In
Try to
Toronto?
get across the city, basically. So I got to go from here to Hyde Park. This is going to probably take, yesterday it was like 50 minutes, 5
I would have guessed 30 max. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to take. Let's see, maybe less people working today. Let's see if we get a little bit better. Okay, here we go. The first question, I'll take it, and we'll figure this out. Yeah, you can do that, sure. All right, so we're gonna stay on my screen as we start dropping off some of these questions. All right, how are you guys doing averaging when the market is going against you? So here we go. So I'll just drop this. We gotta stay on this screen for a minute because Fabian's gonna be busy just figuring something out over there. So this comes from, Raghavendra Rao. Raghavendra. That's pretty good. Good name there. I like that name. How are you guys doing averaging when the market? How you guys are doing averaging when market is going against you? Okay, so I mean we could talk about that just real quickly. So I think a good example here would be, oh, my software didn't even load over here. Okay, so we'll get that going in a second. I thought it did. My bad. Let's look at NVIDIA and the trade of the day that we were going to do anyways off the trade review.
Nice.
So we'll go to next topic. There we go. Okay, perfect. That worked. Hey, that worked.
That works.
Good.
Doesn't
Okay.
matter.
All right, so let's go over to the 1 minute chart. Let's talk about averaging in real quick. So this NVIDIA trade, we bought this NVIDIA trade against this move right there. That bottom of 1057 or so, we were buying it. Nope, sorry, that's the wrong, it was right into here. It was this move of 1050. So you see this high right there? That's the level that when we broke it, it ramped, okay? So we were using this level here of 1050. Not only is it a very key level psychologically, but it's also one that we've held. So when you're trying to average in a trade that goes against you, we bought this dip right here, Adara, because it was the bottom right there, okay? So now if I'm gonna average in, I have to average in against something. So this average level right there of 1050 would have been the next fill, and then we're underneath or we're above in this situation, a 200 period moving average. So for me, if you're gonna average into something, you have to have an out and two parts there. Find something that's at support or resistance that you can average back into that makes sense, that you've seen hold before, and then as your big time out, for me, the 200 period moving average, even on the 1 minute chart, and as you can see, it held it here. So if we broke up here, then that would have been my out. So again, have an out. I hope that helps answer your question. I think it's very important that we all have outs when we average in.
Oh, yeah.
But how do you average in against a volatile market? Wait for past support and resistance levels to hit. Make them those your levels. Be very patient, especially in a market that rips around like that. Okay. All right, what would you recommend here? I'm going to ask this to Adara because I have so many thoughts on this, and I've asked this about 1,000 times, and I've answered it many times.
Cool.
So, Adara, now that you've been trading for a while, we're going to find out from Kendall Lopez. So Kendall Lopez is here. Adara, she or he, I guess, is 19 years old. What would you recommend to perfect in order to become a successful prop trader on a floor?
So I mean, I want to say I'm very new to trading. I initially wasn't even going to be trading at all, and I fell into it. But I want to say, as someone who I feel like I had I feel like I had a turning point this week in terms of realizing what I need to do. So in terms of, to answer your question, what I would like to kind of say here is that I think you really need to work on realizing you are going to take losses, but A, can you minimize those losses? B, are you taking trades that you like in the beginning? Are you taking trades for the right reasons for you? And C, are you able to then also make winners on trades that you really, really like? So yesterday I had my best day since going live, and it was just from taking trades that I really liked, that I thought made sense. And even today, I had another good day, but I undid a lot of my wins because I kept taking really trades on AMD. So it's about minimizing those bad trades, maximizing the trades that work. And I think once you kind of figure that out and you're trading with a purpose and with, a fire under you and a fire in your belly, I think that really helps. That's what I realized on Wednesday.
Yep.
And I hope that answers your question.
There was actually a part 2 of the question from Kenna Lopez, and she asked, what do you recommend? I'm not going to put, well, I can put it in here, why not? What do we recommend for traders on prop floors? So what maybe what are some traits? And I know you just mentioned it as well, but it's the same question. I just think patience, you got to have that killer instinct.
Oh, yeah.
I think that those are two very, very important things. There. Okay, you have any questions for me? I'm just reading through some of these. Okay, go ahead.
I've kind of a fun one. Okay,
right.
So, Jensen Huang did found NVDA at a Denny's. If you had to found a company in any restaurant chain, what would you pick? I know this is a really weird question, but I think it's fun for a Friday.
Man.
Like, who would have thought NVIDIA came from a Denny's,
Yeah, so he's sitting down, he's chilling out with people. So I think any sort of a great idea that I would have would probably come from having some sort of a beer in front of me as well, so just chilling out. So I think he has to serve something.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Denny's has alcohol or not there. But any restaurant chain?
Or restaurant period, whatever. I'm curious, where you think ideas would flow. I know it's a weird question, but.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say just any kind of random, I was trying to think of a chain now, because that was the question. So if I could sit somewhere and chill out and just relax, it would have to be on a patio somewhere.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just go with Wingstop.
I like that.
Yeah, because we had wings here. We had a lot of good vibes. We had, you burned your mouth apparently on those habanero ones. But no, I think, hanging out. So what I get from that question is, and I think it's a great one, it's a fun one on a day like today, I think you have to be in a comfortable zone. And I think that's probably what they were at Denny's, right? They're probably just chilling out, thinking about it. I don't know the full story, but I would say, yeah, Wingstop. Good food, good TV, right? Yeah. Probably some sports on, so I'd be feeling it. I'd be in the zone with a nice cold pint. Pint in a patio would be really nice. So that would be me for sure. So, all right. A good question from Monty G, I feel like right here. When should you give up on trading? So shout out to Monty G there. I don't know if, I know this is probably a serious question because a lot of us have these doubts. I know that there's a lot of traders around here that often have those doubts. And I think it's going to be, again, a very similar question and an answer. But if you're not passionate about something, then you have to give it up.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Like Adara, if you weren't really feeling trading or getting excited, I see you get you get excited in your chair and you have all these fun things that you do. And I think that's showing that you see something and you're excited about it, right? That's the passion that you need to have. And I think if you don't have it, that's fine. It can come and you could develop it with trading. You definitely didn't think you'd be a trader a year ago.
Never thought I would, and I love it.
You didn't know what a level 2 was or anything like that, right? So to me, Wingstop with a GameStop next door. Yeah, what's up, the boring man? Yeah, I like to do that. But yeah, no, exactly. We'll play something. Oh, my son is super excited for GTA 6. I don't know if I'm going to let him play it.
I was going to say, is he not maybe a bit young?
Yeah, he'll probably be 13 or 14 by the time it comes. There will be, me too. I think I was playing Vice City maybe, not at that age because I'm old, but definitely something like that. I remember playing Leisure Suit Larry. You know nothing. That was a dangerous game, and I was definitely young on that one. But no, so I would just say honestly, try, keep trying. Don't ever just give up on something because maybe the success isn't there. But if you start to get frustrated, take a couple steps back, and at some point, you got to decide, hey, is this worth all the sort of brain power? And we only have so much that we can think about. And honestly, trading is extremely stressful. I think you want to give it a go. You want to follow some of the things that we talk about. But at some point, it is worth hanging it up. And I just think once you feel so frustrated, it could be worth, honestly, Monty, just to take even a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month off, see if you miss it. And then if you do, come back.
I like that.
The water's always somewhat warm.
Yeah, it's always lukewarm.
You know,
there's
always,
like sharks, but you know,
there's
it's always
something.
lukewarm.
And I feel like, honestly, like I talk about trying to come in here on Monday. Like I love being in here. So I think that's what you have to have. And if you're passionate about something, you can be, yeah, I know we're not doing it though, Fabian, don't worry. Did you just hit fail on that? Okay. All right, so another thing, do you think RSI is useful? This is a good question from Darkest Dens. How do we use RSI, and do we think that maybe it is? I'm going in 3 minutes. You guys can stop putting your questions in there. I do apologize. I wish we could do this for longer.
Yeah, it's
and
fun.
maybe we should at some point. Hey, we have a podcast room that we could do at some point. All right, so RSI. So the only thing about RSI is, I mean, I have it down here as well. I don't really use it on a day trading at all. What I like to use RSI for is maybe to try to catch positions that I want to invest in. So like if you're just looking at NVIDIA, pretend you don't see anything up here at all. You don't see the chart. But see, these RSI, like it's been holding this 30 RSI level. So if you just go back, pretend like you're not even looking at a chart. So if you bought every time it was around 30, then your first buy would roughly be at $113 there on NVIDIA. If you bought again, the next time it dipped into that area, you would have bought basically the same price again, 146. There's an RSI dip right there, 410. There's an RSI dip right there. And again, RSI is dipping when the stock is going down. So the idea here behind an RSI opportunity was, to answer your question, I can't remember, it was Darkest Dens. I use RSI to buy names that I like. Like if you look at an RSI and a name that just continues to fall, maybe like a Peloton or something like that, you can't just buy RSI dip buys on like, okay, there it is, dip. Come to the chart one more time. Here's Peloton down here at the 30 level. Well, you can't just buy it every time it comes into here because then you're buying it again. Like it's always going to hit those levels. You have to like the name, which is why I use something like NVIDIA.
That makes sense.
So instead of trading off price, you could trade off RSI levels as well. So that's something there real quick. All right, one more question, and then we could talk maybe about that killer instinct that everyone wants to know about. Adara, one more. It's in 4:29. I got to get out of here.
Oh, wow. Oh, one more for you, yeah.
You have one more or no?
Yes, I do. Okay, so
you have the good questions here.
I'm just making some up here. So I don't remember if I asked you this one before. If you could coach any sport at any level, which one would you choose?
Yeah, I mean, the one I'm doing is baseball. So yeah, that would be that. And I like coaching the little kids, which I'm doing.
That's fine, yeah.
And it's not even something that because my own kids are doing it. You know, there are coaches in our league that hang around because they have that passion. Their kids graduate out, and then all of a sudden it's see you later.
They care about it, yeah.
You got to get rid of them. So you got to get rid of the kids, but you stay still as a coach. But is there a favorite sport of yours? We've never asked you.
Oh, okay. I love CFL. I grew
Right.
up with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and I went to games as a kid. I also really like, I know Neil was a track and field runner in high school. I was not at that level, but I did also run track, and I did a competitive race walking. So I like track and race walking as well.
There you go, there you go. And then you know what I was teaching for a while until my daughter made a little higher levels in hockey, curling.
Really?
Yeah, so people don't know that.
Okay,
I mean, people that watch
cool.
the show know that. Yeah, so I was doing curling at High Park Curling Club for a couple of years there because I used to curl back as a kid because my grandparents curled. So we got involved. All right, it's 4:30. Look, I mean, people want to ask questions about what it takes to become like that killer and everything like that. I honestly think it has to be within you, right? We talked about, you know, some of the greatest athletes that have ever lived. You know, they were really performing higher levels all the way up, and then think that the instinct just comes from performing at this level, then that level, then that level, then just wanting more and wanting more and wanting more. You have to have that as a trader. You will take hits, and we say this all the time. It's like fortune favors the bold, and if you're not going to sit in there and you don't believe in what you're trading, then you're not going to have. It's like when my guys get up there, girls. That's what's tonight. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be having like 29 and 10-year-old girls running around all trying to make this rep team, and I have to decide who. But yeah, my daughter's got a position on it, obviously. But anyways, I told them all, I said, you're not going to hit the ball if you don't go up there looking for a hit.
Yeah, you have to put yourself in the mindset that you're going to get the trade.
Like imagine you're a receiver in your example there for football, and you say, you know what, I don't really want the ball thrown at me because I'm not sure I'm going to catch it.
Why are you there? Yeah, like what?
But I turn around and I look around at the trading floor and I say the same thing. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Why are you here if you're not taking that trade?
I agree, and that's a huge thing I want to say. Like, I know you were saying you've learned a lot from being in the Market Recap Show. I've learned so much from being in the Market Recap Show and listening to you, and I really want to thank you because I feel like since going live and being here, basically I think this aligned with when I went live, when I started here, and I just think with regards to conviction, I've learned so much from sitting at this
Good.
desk. So
well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Dara. That's very kind of you to say that. So, all right, drink up, drink that vodka, and no, just water. Not yet, Dara. Not yet. You're still here. All right, hey, everyone, have a happy Memorial Day weekend. So that's all that matters. Be safe, be with the ones that you love, because you know what? No matter what, we're back on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
So the market's not going to change, but make sure you do enjoy whatever you are doing this weekend. So any plans?
I'm going out tonight, although I am a little bit tired from Firegate, which I mentioned on the midday show.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go out tonight,
Good.
And then I think I might rest for the rest of the weekend. What about you?
Yeah, so actually, we do have a few things planned. So yeah, we're going to head out. We're going to hang out with some friends, possibly tonight after this tryout. Chill out a little bit on Saturday, and then some family events on Sunday. So yeah, we're really excited. And again, but there are a whole bunch of things happening in between. So we're excited for that. It's the kids, right? My guy is golf tonight. Like I'm off to one thing.
Your kids are so busy.
Yeah, like I'm off to baseball with my daughter, and my wife's got to drop my son off at golf. And then I'm planning on going to a simulator. So there's these indoor simulators if it's raining.
Okay.
Yeah, because it might rain on Saturday, which is kind of our day that we have nothing planned. I'm going to go to an indoor golf simulator with him.
That. Okay.
Yeah, those are a heck of a lot of fun. That's actually a great date idea as well for many of you that may be dating out there. Or date your wife or your husband, take him there.
Yeah, just go out. Yeah.
All right, it's Happy Memorial Day weekend. See you, everybody. I'm out of here. That's Adara. I'm Shawn. See ya. That's Fabian.
Yeah.
Bye.